Let's talk about why I went to Paris during Fashion Week, but went to almost no shows. So the first time that I went to Paris Fashion Week was a complete accident. I was planning a trip to Europe and I texted my friend Chase that lived in London and I was like, hey, I'm gonna be in Belgium on these days and then thinking about coming to see you in London, would you like to meet up? And he was like, oh, I actually won't be in London that weekend. I'm gonna be in Paris because it's Fashion Week. I had never even heard of Fashion Week. I knew nothing about this. Like, I'm from Indiana. I live in Colorado. This is not my scene. I just happened to like sewing and I enjoy creating a cute outfit. I was like, hell yeah, I'll meet you in Paris for Fashion Week. That sounds so cool. I'll see you there. I was going into this knowing absolutely nothing about how Fashion Week works. Now that I've been 4 times and I do exist in a somewhat fashion-centric part of the internet, I understand a lot more about how it works. If you don't, there's a lot going on at Fashion Week. There's collections where smaller designers can invite you to see their works, but it's not like a runway show. There's also much smaller runway shows, or there's shows like Dior, Prada, very big shows like Balenciaga where celebrities are in attendance. So my first year, by complete luck, I got my picture taken by a photographer, and as he was pulling up the schedule to tell me where he'd be next, I recorded the schedule on his phone, and because of this, I was able to see where all the big shows were going to be. So this very first Fashion Week, with absolutely no idea what I was doing, I just ran around Paris going and standing outside of the major shows like Acne Studios. This is where I got my picture taken in a dress that I'd made, and that's what started like me being kind of associated with Fashion Week, even though I've never been to a runway show in Paris. At the time that I took this first trip, my really close friend Gloria was also in Paris. We've been friends since I was 8. We've both been obsessed with Paris. We literally had a Paris-themed birthday party. So this very first Fashion Week, it's my very first experience with it. It's where I learned everything that I know about it, and it was so much fun. We were like, we have to do this again. And at this first Fashion Week, that's how I learned that tons of smaller models, smaller influencers will go to these major shows, stand outside them, and try to get their picture taken so that their outfit or pieces they create can be featured in articles or in like Vogue. This is how we get articles that are like the best streetwear at Paris Fashion Week. It's from people going and standing outside of these runway shows. So my favorite thing about this was that I created my outfit. I like to sew, and so it was so cool to have an outfit that I had made get any kind of attention. So then the next Fashion Week that I went with 2 singular ambitions. 1, to make outfits that I enjoyed wearing on the streets of Paris, and 2 was to see Anna Wintour. Both of these happened at my second Fashion Week, and more than anything, it was just really fun because it ended up being Chase, Gloria, and I again. Third Fashion Week, same thing, but honestly, standing outside the shows is starting to lose some of the appeal to me. It's starting to feel like a little bit clout chasey, and at the end of the day, being in Paris Fashion Week, my favorite thing has always been getting to observe the streetwear outside of the shows. So my favorite show to do that at is Rick Owens, which is why I went to Rick Owens the day that I landed in Paris. You just see so much new and creative fashion. Like, to me, that's what fashion's about. That's what speaks to my soul. The runway stuff is very cool, but I don't really understand it. The extent of my interest in runway fashion is the Relax It's Only Fashion videos, because I think he breaks it down in a really manageable and understandable way. But like, I'm into sustainable fashion, I'm into thrifting, so runway shows don't have a lot to do with what I'm into. I enjoy seeing the silhouettes and the fabrics, but it's not what I'm there for. And maybe this was unclear in the videos that I made. I thought I pointed it out several times, but at the end of the day, this trip that I take to Paris during Fashion Week is because it is a tradition, something that my friends and I have done for years now. It's a great time to meet up, to get dressed up, to wear things we might not be able to wear anywhere else, and to get to hang out in a city that is vibrant and full of fashion without having to actually engage in every commercial aspect of the fashion. So if you were following me expecting a really detailed breakdown of tons of shows, or expecting me to even be invited to like Dior shows, that's absurd. That's not what I do. That's never what I've done. Ever. Literally ever. I would recommend that you follow Relax It's Only Fashion, because that is what he does. I just like to go to Paris, a city that I've loved for years, way before I did anything in fashion, and spend time with my friends. Hopefully that explains a little bit about what I was doing in Paris during Fashion Week, why I get excited about going, and why I hope to go every year for the foreseeable future. The truth is, there's a lot of ways to enjoy and partake in Fashion Week and fashion in general. And the cool thing about the internet is you can almost always find a creator that's doing exactly what you're personally interested in. Some of the hate comments that I've gotten this week are really harping on the fact that I wasn't invited to shows. I cannot emphasize enough how true that is. I was not invited to the Dior show. And the level of fame that it would take to be invited to the kind of shows that I would want to go to, like Chanel, the level of fame that I hope I never achieve. I cannot imagine the amount of criticism that comes with, and that's just not what I'm going for. I like my TikTok job because it gives me the freedom to take these kind of trips with my friends, and that is what brings my soul joy. I was in Paris to see my friends, and I'm not sure how I could have made that more clear, but hopefully this explains it.